Creative Assembly and Sega. Well, if you think of the modern conception of creative assembly, you will certainly think about this and this, and maybe just a little of this. Yes, yeah, and all the younger people, of course, won't remember or will have never played Medieval Total War or Rome 1 Total War, for example. They totally miss some of the most cool and complete games in the Total War franchise. But why did I start talking about Total War in a supposed review of Alien Isolation? Well, because of course I'm thinking about Creative Assembly's last 5 years, and I can't possibly deny that they did quite a lot of mistakes. First, Empire, Total War, which had to be their diamond, their gem. They were absolutely confident that it would hit sales in a manner never before seen. The scope of Empire was gigantic. The hype was enormous. I remember to have purchased the limited edition containing the Special Forces DLC. I was so fucking hyped. But when I got to my senses, as soon as I started, after so many crashes and so many bugs, well, I simply wasn't satisfied. Empire crumbled upon itself. We had America, part of Africa, India, all of Europe, Iceland, every nation in the 18th century to play. A lot of diplomacy, mercenaries, spying, blocking roads, police, revolutions, trading, annexions. Everything that the game could have potentially offered for the 18th century. All the cool stuff that could have happened were promptly dismissed or buried under an impenetrable net of bugs. It was like beta testing for free, basically. Pieces of the scenery disappearing, conflicts, constant crashes. I remember well elephants being killed by pieces of wooden stakes used to block cavalry. I mean, come on, really? Are you fucking kidding me? And that shit was present on the first day and on the first month after release. Well, 4 patches later, and they said bye-bye to this fantastic game, half finished, half playable, half Empire. It was a certain letdown. So when Napoleon came, I was really skeptical. But it turned out they could complete the code, and they finally delivered something which was presented in a quite decent fashion. It was cool to watch, it was cool to play, and it was certainly complete, for once. Shogun 2 did the same. It was a finished game, a polished game. It was great both from a graphical and strategical standpoint. It dwelled into some interesting tactics. It was kinda like rock, paper, scissors at some point, but of course Dark Mode and other mods did improve drastically the gameplay, which was already decent and even excellent. And then Rome 2 happened. Oh yeah, a game so fucking bugged, a game so fucking unfinished and almost unplayable upon release, that they even had to invent some free DLC, so basically DLC which you don't have to pay for. And what does that mean? Of course, these are just parts of the game which were meant to be inside the code or the faction roster in the first place, but they didn't have the time or the resources to add them into the game in the 1.0 version. So, more than 1 year and 15 patches later, Rome 2 is finally quote-unquote complete. A decent product, which finally functions as it was meant to, but I'm pretty sure this let down a lot of people, just like Empire did. I wasn't interested in the Roman period, so it was pretty easy for me to avoid it. Now with Attila, half a year later, we have another decent game. It seems almost like the current policy at Creative Assembly is make one game half decent, half unfinished, and then you can complete the next later, add all the bug fixes, add new features, add promised features for the last game which were never seen, and then you can basically sell the new game at double the price, with all the stupid DLC and less free DLC, because free DLC are meant only for the first game, which they obviously didn't finish. So, why did I start talking about Creative Assembly's current policy and the Total War series before Alien Isolation? Well, mainly because one has to understand from which heights this company went and where they are headed now, and remember the last disappointing 5 years before going into their last releases. And thankfully, Alien Isolation is not only respectful of its license, not just like some other Sega product. Oh yeah, right. I guess that happened, huh? But it is also a surprisingly good game. The story is simple yet engaging for this franchise. So we'll be playing as Ripley Stoller, filling the gap between Alien 1 and 2. She'll be attending her engineering duties on Sevastopol Station, a space citadel controlled by Sixon Incorporated, a minor corporation which has serious financial problems. An incident will occur, and Ripley will be separated by her companions, which are now scattered across Sevastopol's surface. From there, the usual alien plot will take place. Somebody will betray, somebody else will get killed, people from the original Alien movie will appear briefly, and of course, a big motherfucking alien will chase you throughout your journey inside the space station. I have to say that I was pleasantly met with a lot of warm alien love. No pun intended. When I was exploring the complex, the architecture, the lighting, the way in which cutscenes are shown, it all reminds me so much of the first Alien movie. From the tiny details to the big picture, it has all been reconstructed in such a way that it feels like a vibrant world, full of colors and mystery. Also, CA's proverbial terrible AI is persistent even here. They didn't learn a thing from the shift in genre and scope. It is simply that bad. But it turns out this is one of the most intriguing points, which are playing at their advantage. The alien is retarded, but such foolishness is welcomed when you have the extremely small levels, with frequent loading times and a save point system which forces you to wait several seconds to save your game again. The alien is extremely sensitive to sounds, but he never catches up with the player, unless he's in front of him, or he stops moving. It is extremely important for you to move. The alien follows an intelligently placed net of spawn points, in which you can jump in. If you keep moving, he'll have to follow you throughout the designed path. Therefore, it will be more difficult for him to jump at you, which is his favorite tactic. The flamethrower may have briefly, but he is invincible. You will never be able to stop him, and that is deeply refreshing. The feeling of helplessness is fantastic. However, the alien only occupies a brief moment of your gaming time. He will soon give way to the androids controlled by the master computer inside the complex, the so-called working Joes. I hate these sons of bitches. These bastards have the tendency to be as stupid as the alien. For instance, they cannot duck inside ventilation shafts or under the tables. However, they may present even a bigger threat, because they can group together to get the job done. So overall, was this scary? Well, yeah, I guess. As scary as an alien movie can be. The level of fidelity, polishness, and extremely good gameplay gave me the impression that both Sega and CA have really done it this time. They managed to return to the standards of Alien vs Predator, which is one hell of a big step considering Alien Colonial Marines. Blech. So, definitely not a masterpiece, but one hell of a good game. I will consider Alien Isolation an 8.5 out of 10, because it really deserved it. So, well done, CA. I really do hope you have learned your lesson, and you will keep an eye on this genre, because it appears you can do it quite well, and maybe you wanna try to adjust your AI in the future, maybe? No? Oh well. Time will tell, I guess. For those of you who had the patience to listen to me rambling about this NCA situation in this
horrible English of mine, and thanks for watching.